After running the car for a little while last night, realized it was loading up. A lot of fumes in here. It was running really rich. We went ahead and put the fuel pressure regulator on, and that helped tremendously, but I still can't get this thing to run right. It's just the carburetor will not adjust out now. I mean, it ran pretty good before the actual mechanical fuel pump went out, but you know, it was providing very little fuel. I think the car didn't really have a whole lot of power, but it did run and it idled and everything. But I put that electric fuel pump on there, and even with the pressure regulator adjusted down to about 6 psi, it still just will not run right. I think it's just overwhelming the carburetor, and it won't idle. It will idle, but it idles really low. And if I shoot some carburetor cleaner into the top of the plate there, it speeds up like it's starving for fuel. But I know it's got plenty of fuel. The float bowl's set right, float's set right, so I can take the float plug out, and you know, I can get the fuel to, if I shake it, it'll come out of there. So I know that's good. I know it's getting fuel, but it could have a vacuum leak. Could be leaking around the throttle plate shaft. But I did notice that the idle mixture screw on the driver's side doesn't really do hardly anything. So I'm going to go ahead and yank the carburetor off of here, and we're going to boil it out with some carburetor dip. I got a gallon bucket of that stuff, and we're going to clean it up and see if we can get a little more out of it. Well, here we are. Everything's all cleaned up, and this turned out really, really well. I mean, it looks really clean. Here's all the pieces to it, and I got my little rebuild kit over here. And what am I doing? I don't need these anymore. This baby is clean. Right. So we're going to start putting her back together. Just taking inventory. There's our needle valve and our float adjustment. It comes with all that. That's cool. Yeah, all those little bits and pieces. Yep. Choke plate, choke gasket. I had to order a new mica choke, electric choke housing with the clock spring and all that in it, because it was cracked before, but when I bumped it with that wrench, it just finished it off. So had to order that, but we can get through this without it. It'll be a little bit. Ordered from Summit Racing. The one that comes with it Now the only thing that's available now is the one for the electric choke. Was this one actually heats the clock spring from manifold. It's got this tube right here. The heat comes up from the intake manifold and warms the choke up and opens it up. So we can get by without that for now. I'm assuming this float's good. I mean, it's the solid float. It's not the you know, the brass hollow one that could possibly leak. Only thing with these is they can actually soak up fuel and get heavy, but I don't think this one was doing that, because we actually had, you know, fuel in the carburetor. It would have shut off, or it would have kept. No, actually, would have kept running. But I don't know, it might be bad. It may be. I don't know. If it is, we'll change it later. But anyway, let's get this bad boy back together. Okay, all that's left to do is to put on the choke pull-off tube, the dash pot, the fuel line, and this heat tube. So I'm going to clean that stuff up, put it all on there, and get ready to work on the intake gaskets next. So I've got those here. They came from Best Gasket. Didn't even know if I could get them. Nafinol didn't have them, so found them on there on Amazon. Also went ahead and got the exhaust manifold gaskets from the same company. And these are the ones I'm kind of worried about, because you know how it is with old exhaust manifold bolts. I've been soaking these things down every time I walk past this car for the past couple of days with Aerocroil. So I'm hoping those will bust loose. I've had a leak in the passenger side exhaust manifold ever since I had the car, so I'm going to change those. And I also got a new set of valve cover gaskets, the O-rings. You watched my video before about doing the valve stem seals and the rocker arm squeaking issue, the low oil issue that I had. I've been putting RTV on those because they're just hard as a brick. So this is going to be nice. I don't know if I'll put these on right now because currently I'm not leaking, but I may just wait until I leak again, unless I just have to get them off to get to something else. But best gasket. Pretty happy with those guys. So first thing you got to do is pop the intake manifold off. Well, the camera died yesterday. As I was trying to get this out, there was one bolt that was really carboned up, rusted in there. And I finally got it out, got that manifold off. Got those surfaces all stoned up good. And got the manifold all stoned up good too. So it's ready to go on. Got my gaskets there. I don't always use gaskets on exhaust, and like with headers I use gray RTV, but that probably would work fine here too. A lot of times when I was younger, I remember a lot of times we didn't use gaskets. We would just put grease on there and tighten it up because it's a good machine surface. and it would seal up good. I don't know. I don't really trust it at this point. I don't know, maybe later, but I just want to get this thing together, so I'm going to go ahead and put the gaskets on. I'm going to put this side on. The other side hasn't been leaking. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to change that gasket as well. I don't know. But at least not right now. Maybe. We'll see. We're going to get that manifold on there. We're getting ready to check and see if the work we did was any good. I'm going to take this out so that I can see if the fuel comes up and pours out when I turn the key on. And then we're going to try to fire this thing up. Alright, let me turn on the key. Fuel pump is pumping. Alright. I don't see any fuel pressure just yet. Let's see if we got anything here. Oh, I know. I forgot to take my clamp off of the hose in the back for it to get fuel. All right, let me try this again. All right, we're getting fuel. We're leaking a little bit right here. The float adjustment Like the fuel pressure is okay. Steady at 6. Let me turn the key off, see if I can get this leak to stop. Is that about right? So I can shake the car and a little bit starts trying to come out the hole. So we're going to put this plug back in. I'll tighten this up. And let's turn it back on. See how it looks. Still leaking a little bit. It's got the gasket under it. Huh. Try to sand this gasket a little bit. All I did was I held this gasket and then both sides of this nut down on a piece of sandpaper on top of a flat piece of steel and just kind of lapped it a little bit. Let's see if that did the trick. 5/8. There we go. Let's grab the air hose, dry that off a little bit. Try it again. Okay. Looks like we got our leak stopped. Let's see if it'll bark off. So it's running. The fast idle is not where I want it to be. So we need to adjust that. At about where normal idle would be. pain to get to. Had to adjust. Okay, we're about 1200 fast idle now. Actually about 13, may have to adjust that a little bit later. That sounds so much better already. No exhaust leak. The engine sounds great. Get some warmth in our choke pull off. And then we'll try to wrap the throttle to stop the fast idle. So much better without that exhaust leak. Burning off a lot of that coil that I sprayed the bolts down with. The exhaust manifolds are soaked with that stuff. So go ahead and get this out of here. Get ready to set the timing. I'm going to open a door. Smoking the place up pretty bad. Let me go open one in the front too. That way you can get a pull through the draft, suck some of those fumes out before Miss Nikki comes down here screaming at me about all the carbon monoxides. That already sounds pretty good. And I did verify my valve cover gaskets are not leaking, so I'm not going to put the new ones on there just yet. See if it'll kick off. Oh, that sounds beautiful. Look at that. 725 right there. 730. Sounds perfect. Timing is right on the money. I know the throttle plate's all the way closed, so I don't think there's any work to do there. Folks, this part of the repair work, I'm going to call it good. That already just sounds awesome compared to what it was. I mean, this is a huge improvement. Getting rid of all those vacuum leaks and rebuilding the carburetor. Just, I'm excited. This is the best it's ever run, I believe. So, but we'll, you know, the real tale will be told whenever I get it back out on the road again and drive it around, which I'm going to do that tomorrow. So thank you all so much for spending this time with me and watching my videos. I really thank all of y'all that subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Give me a thumbs up, comment. Get that algorithm going. See if we can make something out of this. Rock on.